And then after that, since the Toa failed, they never got to get the Mask of Life. Madanui dies, the whole universe is ended, and that's why we're having the reboot. No, I'm just kidding with you. Um, so actually, right before the Matoran, the six, not the ones from Voya Nui, the Metro Nui ones, Jollar and his gang, so they arrive right on the shores of Voyanui, and while they're out there, lightning falls from the sky and hits all the canisters, and there's like a transformation sequence and stuff, and once they exit, they all look at each other and realize they're not Matoran, they're Toa. So that's a pretty good deal, a great deal actually, since you know, there are no more Toa to help, so they now have to step up and be the Toa they were meant to be. And so Brutaka took the Toa and the Matoran, except for no, no, he took the Toa and he like is like drained them of their. Well, he used the Zammer spheres that the Paraka used and used it on them and had them like drain out all their energy voluntarily and just continues to do so. And like he took their masks and their weapons and armor and stuff. Or was it that the Paraka? It was one of them. Let me know if you know which one it was. I mean, I could just read it, but I'm just gonna be lazy about that. Um, so then once the six Toa get there, they feel weird. They notice that their armor's a little different from what they've seen Toa armor look like, and even their masks feel different, almost like they're alive. And they also get this word just that pops into their head, Inika, which means energies of a star, which is kind of fascinating because not only will they be able to use elemental energy, but they can use it with like electricity. So like if you had ice, you can shoot ice which has electricity with it, or if you had fire, fire and electricity, and so on. So also, now for some reason, their faces like will glow. Like if they took off their like masks, then it'll be like you can't see their face. It'll just be like light coming from their face, or where their face should be. So I guess that's another effect of the Anika, and also the masks themselves like feel like I said, they felt alive. They were warm and they could also move independently. And so that was like unique. So at first having a hard time getting used to their abilities, and that almost gets them in a way killed. And they first face off against Vezok, and even though they're new to this, they beat him actually. And so they're first they're like gonna force him like, all right, take us to your stronghold, take us to your leader, and they don't even realize at first, though, like that he's completely surprised at Artoa, but the fact that they actually use some of their elemental abilities on him, Bazelak has the ability to copy abilities, so because of that, because they use their abilities on him, he uses like ice and fire and makes like a steam, and escapes in the mist. Then they meet up with the Matoran who are enslaved, well, the Matoran who are there, they escaped, and so they meet up with them, and they help to fight the, well, not fight the Prophet, but first uh, somehow like release the Matoran who were enslaved, and so they go on a mission to do that. They meet Axon and stuff, and so they're going around fighting the Paraka and whatnot, and eventually they're going to lead to a battle with like Brutaka as well. So while that's going on, like this is like a big fight going on, and then there's a special Zammer sphere that was made. I think it was used to. Yeah, a special Zammer sphere that was made for Brutaka, well, to use on Brutaka, and uh, and so uh, Vaz Vazok, no, it wasn't Vazok, Hakan and Thok, well, Hakan fired it at I can't Brutaka, and so what it would have done was drain him of all his abilities, his like special abilities, and then used it, and whoever fired it would get the abilities, and so you know Fok realized this and like jumped right at Hakan, so that way when the just hit him, it would also hit Thok, and Thok would also have the ability. So that happens, and they and so like they gain the abilities, and then right then and there they betray like all the Paraka, so they like wipe out the Paraka, and they wipe out the Toa as well. I mean, they don't kill them, but like they just like really brutally beat them. Uh, and so at first, well, actually, while that was going on, Yuparo was fighting Zaktan and like easily contained him in Earth since he's like made of prototypes and stuff. And then he comes back, and the Paraka and the Toa were like bound, like they were like bound in like stone by Hakan, and so Nuparo like broke the stone, and so then at first the Toa were debating whether or not to release the Paraka as well, but then uh like the Paraka said they knew how to reverse the effects, so and they'd only do it if they released them, so they did that, and they go and fight the Paraka. Well, I mean, like Hakan and Thok. And Hakan and Thok were already fighting because they realized that either one of them could betray them at any minute. So they're fighting. The Paraka fight them. The uh, Toa fight them. And it should be mentioned that the Toa Nuva have been freed by now by the Toa Enika. And so yeah, they're fighting them, and they use the Zammer Sphere uh, on the two on the two Paraka. And actually, just as that shot's being fired, the two of them release like a giant energy blast that again knocks everyone unconscious, except for Zektan because he somehow dodged that. So because the power getting drawn out of the two, it renders them as unconscious as well. And that being said, though, the power goes back to Brutaka, and Axon, by the way, was staying with Brutaka in case the Toa actually succeeded, because he knew that once Brutaka wakes up, it's gonna start